They might go
Yeah.
back to them.
Okay,
No, that-
you're good.
Thank you. Is this your first meeting? Hey, I brought my Christmas light. Really took charge of it. It might be the same one. Should be okay, but I just. Are we live?
Are we good?
Sorry.
Are we good?
Sebastian, you good?
Okay.
If you want to wait a few more minutes, I'll finish reading my other email. We got it. Forgot how easy it is to do here.
Good. All right. We're gonna go ahead and call this meeting, the organizational meeting of the Montoursville Area School District to order. It is 7:04 p.m. on December 6, 2022. We'll start with the roll call. Mr. Elder is absent this evening. Mr. Badger.
Here.
Dr. Beery is absent this evening. Dr. LaCrone.
Here.
Dr. Mathers. Here. Mr. Schimmel.
Here.
Mr. Snow.
Here.
Mr. Almer.
Here.
And Mr. Young is absent this evening. First, we'll go ahead and take. Okay. First, we'll go ahead and take nominations for a temporary president.
I move that Randy Smith be elected temporary board president. Second.
Are there any further nominations?
I move nominations be closed.
All right, all those in favor?
Wait, I got a question. And it's only a legal question. Was it checked to see if somebody besides a board member, a voting board member could be appointed temporary board president?
Yes, anyone can be appointed.
Okay.
On the board,
That's-
as long as they're a holdover member, and everyone's a holdover member this year,
Okay,
so. Okay,
yep. All those in favor?
yes, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so. Can I have nominations for a board president?
Nomination.
Second. Any other nominations?
Move the nominations be closed.
Second, all those in favor of Mr. Schimmel being the president? Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, congratulations, Mr. Schimmel. You will be the president again this year. Can I have nominations for a vice president?
Move Dottie Mathers be nominated for vice president. Second.
Do I have any additional nominations? Okay, with no additional nominations being made, can I have a motion for the nominations to be closed?
Move nominations be closed. Second.
All those in favor for Dr. Mathers to be vice president?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
Dr. Mathers is the vice president. Congratulations. And can I have nominations? No, actually, I don't need nominations for the treasurer because the treasurer's term does not expire until June 30th, 2023. So since the treasurer was not nominated for one of the other positions, the treasurer will remain intact until June 30th, 2023. So we do not need to do that this evening. The designation of the newspaper for general circulation. Can I have a motion for the advertisements for general circulation to be placed in the Sun Gazette?
I don't think we have any choice, do we?
No, we don't have any, but we still have to do it.
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And, the meetings, the regular school board meetings of the school board directors will be held on the second Tuesday of each month at 7 p.m. and the work sessions the fourth Tuesday, except for in June, July, August, November, and December. Meetings will be held at the Montoursville Area High School unless advertised differently in the conference room. And do we want to change anything with the board meetings moving forward before we have a motion in a second? All right, hearing none, can I have a motion for the meetings?
Approved as stated. Second.
All right, any questions, comments? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, ayes have it. Those will be advertised in the Sun Gazette before January 1st. And can I have an adjournment for the organizational meeting? It's 7:09.
Move to adjourn. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, I will hand this over to Mr. Schimmel, and we will have the regular meeting.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. All right, this time then we'll call this meeting of this regular meeting of the Montoursville Area School District Board of Directors to order on this Tuesday, December 6, 2022. The time is 7:10 p.m. And Madam Secretary, if you take a roll.
Mr. Elbert is absent. Mr. Badger.
Here.
Dr. Theory is absent. Dr. LaCrone.
Here.
Dr. Mathers.
Here.
Mr. Schimmel.
Here.
Mr. Snell.
Here.
Mr. Ulmer.
Here.
And Mr. Young is absent.
Okay. This time, I would invite all the present to rise and join me in a pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is recognitions and presentations, and I do not believe there are any, so we'll move on now to student representative presentation. Zach, anything for us tonight?
So mock trial is ramping up for the competitive season, whereas next month there are 2 weeks back to back, where mock trial is competing. In the Burkeville area high school, yeah, I don't know why I said that. The improv troupe has had 3 successful shows so far this year. The tentative plan for this month is the 21st, mission is 3, and donations because that be accepted. Last Thursday and Friday, 15 band students here at the high school took part in the Southern County Band Directors Association County Band Exhibition. And the concert was last Friday over at Little High School. Today, the Philharmonic group St. Carol's over at the Presbyterian Church. Where was I? The band and choir, we had a concert on the 19th here at the high school. It'll be the concert band, choir, and like ensemble. And then recently, this last weekend on Saturday, the 3rd, the band has held their annual craft show, which is the biggest fundraiser.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move now to the reading of the minutes. We have the Tuesday, November 8th regular meeting minutes, and then the Tuesday, November 15th special meeting minutes. And I would entertain a motion to approve those.
Move to approve.
Second. Any, no corrections, I assume everything seemed fine, so hearing nothing, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Have it. Now we'll move on to the prior presentation, and we have Pastor Larry Leland with us tonight. Welcome, Pastor.
Thank you. It's always good to be here. Sometimes I come as a concerned citizen and resident of the district. Sometimes I come because I am a parent of a ninth grader. Today I come, and most often I come because I'm the lead pastor of Faith Church here in Montoursville, one of the many churches and organizations that support Harvest of Hope Food Bank and an outreach ministry to people in our community. And I just wanted to say thank you, particularly to our schools, our local schools, and the district as a whole for their support of the Harvest of Hope food ministry. This Thanksgiving at Faith Church, we continued our practice of providing Thanksgiving meals for families in our community who may be struggling with food insecurity. And for the last many years, at least the last 12 years that I'm aware of, we partnered with the school districts, and we provided about 30 meals for families in our community. This year, because of the generosity of so many people across the school district, we actually provided 78 Thanksgiving meals for families, which is a blessing and a challenge. It's a blessing because we were able to provide 78 Thanksgiving meals. It is a challenge because it was really easy to find 78 families in our community that needed someone to help provide their Thanksgiving meal. Each and every month, Harvest of Hope provides 120 backpacks for students in our schools to take home over the weekends so that they can have food when schools aren't providing meals. So in this season of celebration, this season for many of us of excess, I think it's really important, even as we gather, to remember those in our community, those in our families, those in our schools that don't have enough. So will you pray with me? God, we thank you for this opportunity to come together, and for those who continue to provide leadership in our school district, for our school board, for our staff, for our faculty, for our volunteers, and for those concerned citizens who make it a point to be present, to be active, and to be at work for the best for our students and for the community at large. I, for one, thank you for the partnership not only of congregations across the theological spectrum, but organizations throughout our community and our schools and the leaders within those schools, doing what we can as we know that there are needs to meet them. And so we pray that in this season that we might be generous, even as we celebrate gift giving and gift receiving in our homes, in our churches, and with those that we love. May we exhibit that kind of generosity in reaching out to those who are still deeply in need, whether that need be material or physical, or whether that need be emotional, spiritual, or simply knowing that they're not alone. As the days of our weather grow darker, may we bring more light into the world in which we live, into the community where you have planted us, and into the schools and the lives of the students and all who are a part of this school district. We ask it in your name. Amen.
At this time, we'll move to the public comment portion of the agenda. We invite residents and taxpayers to comment on matters of concern or official action by the board or any deliberation before the board. Members of the public, they're provided one unpaused 3-minute time frame. And starting this evening, we also have, we are pretty sure it will be interactive commenting from the public via a Zoom webinar, Zoom session, and we'll make that work. We've got it nailed down. So we'll start with the public who would be present with us this evening. Anyone present here in the meeting room would like to speak to us, let us know your name and where you live and your thoughts. Okay, not seeing anybody there. We have 5 attendees online, and I would invite any of those attendees. If you're on Zoom, I think you probably know how to raise your hand. And when I see your hand raised on the screen here, I click on that, and magically you're able to speak to us. So let us know who you are, where you live, and offer some comments if you wish. Yeah, I'm not seeing any hands being raised at this time, so move now to the business manager's report.
You've received copies of the treasurer's report for the period ending November 30th, 2022 for the general fund and the cafeteria fund. We are submitting these to the board for your consideration of approval.
Move to approve. Second. Any questions or anything on that? Okay, hearing nothing, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's it.
The budgetary transfers, there are none this evening. You've received copies of the listing of invoices for the general fund and the cafeteria fund for the period ending December 6, 2022. We are submitting these to the board for your consideration of approval and payment.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor, I guess it's a roll call vote, sorry.
Mr. Albert's absent, Mr. Badger.
Yes.
Dr. Berry's absent. Dr. LaCrone,
Yes.
Dr. Mathers.
Yes.
Mr. Schimmel,
Yes.
Mr. Snow,
Yes.
Mr. Ulmer,
Yes.
and Mr. Young is absent. And for other business, we're still working on the single audit. They are auditing one of the ESSER's programs, so it's a little bit more time consuming in there. And we're continuing to work through with the Tyler on, we see the reports are a little bit different again this month. Hopefully we'll get to a point where they're consistent every month here in the next month or so. Just learning more about it and trying to work with them to find the best reports for us. So that is all I have this evening.
Thank you. Move on now to the superintendent's report, and by way of that report will be an administrative report. So do you think the audio is good? Okay, we were concerned that we might have to move the mic over to you, but it's picking up everyone very well. The system really seems to be functioning quite well. So Mr. Farrar, you want to lead off?
Sure. Last night, fourth graders for the district presented their holiday concert right across the hall. For the first time this year, we did a combined concert with both elementary. Our music teacher, who, as you know, teaches here at the high school and also does the Valley's music program, has been out on a maternity leave after having the addition to their family. So we weren't sure, in this day and age of subs, whether or not we'd have a full-time sub for music related. Fortunately, we did find one. She's fantastic. She's a retired elementary music teacher, but we didn't know that a few months ago. So we wanted to make sure both schools had a good quality concert. So we decided to try something we thought about. The thing about doing that was doing a combined fourth grade concert. They did fantastic. The packed house and the kids did a fantastic job. Had some combined numbers where they both sang the same song together. Some were just a later choir, some was just a Valley choir, and again, did some songs in the end combined. So maybe something we do in the future, maybe as a spring concert, kind of that next day before they move on to go to the middle school. We're not sure, but either way, the kids did a great job. Pastor Leland mentioned about the Harvest of Hope. I know a number of the schools that did collections, and our kids that later did the turkey trot, where we brought in things that we donate to the food bank, and they took over 2,000 items to donate. And so thanks to our families and staff for their generous donations to help with that cause. And help families out in our community. And the last thing I'll report on, other than the fact that, holiday traditions and celebrations and the kids are full of the sugar already busting out of them for holidays already in the beginning of December. But that's the fun part of this time of season, as you well know, with your families. But did receive notice, I guess it's my Christmas present. We are going to have our annual monitoring by the Department of Federal Programs. So every 4 to 5 years we get that. They don't usually find too many major findings, but yeah, that would be my fun winter experience to get us ready for that. So
Okay. Thank you. Hello, Mr. Myers.
Hello. We welcome anyone that wish to attend our choral concert next Wednesday, the 14th, and then follow up with our band concert on the 21st. It has been a month of giving, and like Pastor Lee said, and this is for our really proud of our families and our Builders Club for organizing some fundraisers and collecting food items. We were able to provide over 500 pounds of food to the food bank. We had dress down days with the staff. Over $200 was donated for Thanksgiving baskets. And the Builders Club and our students are really stepping up and trying to give back to the community. So we thank our staff and our parents for their support of the students. We had, as I said, the last board meeting about our fundraiser was very successful. Our students that sold at least 20 items participated in a trip to Fudgies and a limousine, and Mr. Albert was able to ride along, so that was pretty cool. And I met him over there, so the kids really had a great time, and had some nice pictures on Facebook of that. So we look to do that next year, improve on that. So again, we had over $9,000 that was raised that will support our 8th grade fun day, as well as all the other fun days and towards the end of the year, grade 5 days. So we're excited about that. And finally, I want to thank PPL. We had a presentation in 6th grade, and all 6th grade students received a care package with various LED light bulbs and so forth. Probably a $75 care package for 6th grade. So those families really enjoyed that, and so we're excited about holidays coming up. All is well. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Blaze.
I just have a couple things. So, first off, we had on December 1st, both Lighter and the Valley had Mr. Greg Price, right, from the Carnegie Science Center come out and do an assembly for all of our kids. He did it on science of hockey. So he came out and showed the kids a couple things that had to do with science of hockey, liquid nitrogen, frozen hockey puck, smashed it, kids loved it. So it was kind of cool just to get everybody back in the groove, and it was nice that he got kind of came into the whole school for us. So, and I just want to thank Mr. Farrar because he kind of organized that before I got here. So I appreciate him doing that for both our schools. Go along with Harvest for Hope, I know that Mrs. Emick worked pretty tirelessly to kind of organize, call a bunch of families who were the needs for some food. I know we need about 20 food baskets, so I think that's pretty nice to get 5 to 20 families with food for the holidays. So I'm kind of proud of all the work that she did with that, with working with faith. So that was nice that we can kind of combine with the community there. Concert last night was great. I really appreciate Mrs. Plaza coming, stepping in for the during the day for Mrs. Geist and just running with it. And other than that, we have the holiday season coming up. We start our 12 days of Christmas for the kids and the teachers tomorrow. So kind of doing some different things over the course of the day. So great to get everybody excited about the holiday season. And then other than that, that's about it.
Thank you. Over to my right, Mrs. Albert, do you have something for us tonight?
I know our library, I think it's called Brando, she's doing a reading incentive with the ones for the library. And I will read that, it's pretty good incentive, so that should be a fun thing for the kids. And also we sent all of our 5th and 6th graders to the Senior Arts Center for the STEAM Ahead Airs Everywhere, which is science, technology, math, engineering, art. Yeah, I did it without a order. Yeah, so that was successful. I mean, that's quite a feat taken 2 whole grade levels, but our teachers pulled it off, and Adam Wright organized that, and all the 5th and 6th grade teachers helped organize that. The kids had a great time with doing all excited when they came back, the stories of that. That's cool.
Thank you. And Mr. Northo. Okay. Sebastian. Okay. And lastly, but not least, Mr. Tromino, do you have anything for us?
Nothing in addition, other than had a lot of positive feedback on the newsletter. Those will be going out every couple of months to highlight what's going on in the district. And we'll continue doing that. That's all done electronically through our parent school messenger, it's called now. So if people want that, sign up and they'll receive that. next time I won't do phone, text, email. We'll just go out and email, so.
That's it?
Yep.
Okay, all right, thank you. Let's move on now to the agenda items. We'll start with the general items and with the board's consent, I'd like to group G1 through G5 together. So if you would take a look at G1 through G5, and if you believe a separation might be of value, that's fine. But let's consider G1 through G5. And, when you're ready, I'll entertain a motion to approve G1 through G5.
Move to approve.
Second. Any questions on any items?
Yeah, I have a quick question on G1. The E911 compliance, is that a service that if somebody in the district, we'll say a teacher in the district calls 911 from their phone, it tells what room, is that what I'm understanding it does? It tells what room that came from, not just that it came from the school.
We were required to do that.
Okay, but I wanted to make sure that's what that service
Yeah,
did.
so 309 calls 911.
Right.
911 center's gonna know that call came from room 309.
Okay. That's all.
I have a question on G2. That's quite a big jump in the premium rate. Is there other places that you can look at? Have you done that?
We have a broker that kind of shops around for us. They pick the lowest rate that has our coverage, and in fact, last year I asked them to provide the quotes that they turned down, and they were tens of thousands of dollars higher. And this year, I think it went up to $5,000. But they did an
Yeah,
external
6,000.
scan of our security posture. We got the highest score we could achieve. Every year we give us more and more that we comply with. I'm trying with it, but the unfortunate fact is that when it comes to cyber insurance, K-12 schools are such a huge liability to the insurance providers that every year the costs and the requirements keep going up and up. So unfortunately,
Okay.
That was a very detailed contract that we had to look through. I got about 2/3 and gave up.
Unfortunately, I shouldn't give up, but
I'm glad you did. But the things, all that detail, it certainly stands to reason that it's going to be a costly item.
It's such a big deal in K-12 schools, especially in Pennsylvania right now. We have meetings for it, specialized meetings just for cyber insurance. And a lot of schools are in situations where it's getting really hard to even get it because we're very vulnerable.
I know looking at the ESPA newsletter comes out, I'd swear every day that one of my headline issues deals with cybersecurity. It's just,
and prior to working for this district, also I've worked with other districts who unfortunately needed to use that policy. And it's definitely necessary. It offers a lot of support and assistance. If something does happen, they bring in teams, forensic teams, they can help us determine what did happen, how to respond to it. And so it's, if you ever need it, that's
because I imagine it's the recovery, is one of the most important components there.
yeah, there's a lot of aspects that they offer, but it's very useful.
If there's no other questions on that, all in favor of approving G1 through G5, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And if we look at G6 separately, approval of the Act 1 special session of 2006, the resolution to limit the real estate tax increase to no more than the Act 1 index. Is that no more than or less than? What would that be by regulation?
You can increase it up to.
Up to, all right, okay. Fine detail. All right.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any questions? discussion.
I have a couple questions. First, when does the last date that this has to be approved or disapproved?
January 31st.
My question, my next question is, I think you all know that I'm not going to vote to go above the Act One index. But I'm kind of curious why we're being asked now to approve this when we don't even know what the final numbers were for last year yet. Which means that we're not going to know, we don't know what is going to be asked for the next budget either. So I'm kind of curious why we're doing this so early.
Well, if you can answer how Harrisburg operates, I'd love for you to explain.
No, I'm talking about, I know what you're saying, but I'm talking about, we don't even know the final numbers from last year yet.
Well, Mr. Snell, the sentiment of the board has been, we don't go above index. So why not go ahead and pass it and have it done? The auditors are still working through the numbers. I can't rush them in working through things. We've been going through software change along with doing the audit, so it has been a little bit more difficult this year. And the sentiment of the board has always been, they don't want to go above index. Index this year is the highest it's been since I've been business manager, which is 5.3%.
Yeah, it's too high.
Which takes 0.87 mils. So what's the sense in holding off?
Well, I was just curious why we was doing it early. I mean,
We usually
all
do
it
it.
is a vote on an agenda. So I was curious why we were doing it.
We usually do it
early.
in November or December. It's our typical when we do it. We
Well,
didn't do it in November this year, so we're doing it now.
and we usually get the audit numbers back before now, but like you
No.
said,
The audit numbers don't come out until January.
well, you usually give us numbers that so we kind of have a feel for the way the numbers are going to come out.
No,
Yeah,
no,
So we're doing this about a month early, right?
no, we're doing it about a month late. I think last year we did it in November.
I mean, if January 31 is the deadline, we could push it to next month, but in my mind, I'm not gonna know anything different next month than I know now. And as you said, we really don't want to go above the index, so,
and I agree with
What's the
that,
point
Dave.
of- It's just besides.
I mean, yes, from the standpoint of when it needs to be done versus when we're doing it now, yeah, we're early, but I'm okay with that. It's, even if she tells us bad news next month, for something, I'm gonna say, well, let's find a way to make it work anyway.
And Dave, I agree with you. And like I said, when I first started the question that you all know that I won't vote to go above the index. I was just looking for an answer as to why we were voting on it before the required time. That's all.
I guess
Nothing more, nothing less.
I guess I just view it as, it's basically, we're telling the public, we're not going above the index. And the earlier we tell them, the better.
Got it.
That's how I put
And I
it.
hope
That's
not.
how I would usually do it in November or December.
And I sure am glad we're not at 5.3%.
Okay, any more questions on that? If not, entertain, well, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Let's have it. And then G7 is the approvals
We
for
don't
the,
need to do G7 because the officers all remain the same.
all right.
Okay, so we can just remove that.
So G7 can be deleted from the agenda because the officers have remained the same.
Yes.
And
Sorry, I should have told you that earlier.
no, that's all right. Okay. All right, we'll move on now to the personnel items. P1, I'd like to keep separately, but P2 through P12 looks like we could do that in a group. So let's do P1, and then we'll flip over and look at P2 through P12 and see if we're all comfortable doing them as a group. But first of all, P1 is the approval of the addition to the school security guard effective December 7. And a new employee will be LaRue Celine as the full-time, hope I said that right. As the full-time security personnel captain, and you see the rate of pay, 6,000 per rate. It's a new position, of course. So I will enter in a motion for the approval of that. Move to approve. Any questions, technicalities of any sort, I guess? All right, hearing none then, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We welcome Mr. Stelline to our midst, and we gave the gentleman last month an opportunity to approach the podium and just tell us a little bit about themselves, and we'd enjoy that if you would tell us a little bit about your experience.
Can you reach it? Well, thank you very much for this opportunity. And I must say that I thought my days of public speaking were over. I did. My name's LaRue Stelline. I grew up in Nesbit. If you remember, you hired Jim Wool at the last meeting. You approved him. I grew up with him. He always wanted to be a state trooper. I didn't. Then I went off to the military in 1988. Served in the 82nd Airborne and then in the Pennsylvania Army National Guard here for 16 more years. I retired from the National Guard in 2008. I joined the state police during that time in 1999. Did my first year in York, and then I came up here in 2000, and we moved down to Mentorsville. I think it was 2008. My son is Tristan, which many of you know, hopefully in a good way. And then I stayed right here at Mentorsville. When I came back from my last deployment, I had just had enough of traveling, so I decided not to try to promote. I stayed here as a patrol supervisor, and I had the best people working for me. And I really liked being here in Mentorsville. I thought, being a South Williamsport person, I thought that I would always be like anti-Mentorsville. My son was a Warrior, and I think what the final straw was, the last game of the football season this year. Y'all know we had a horrible year, but that doesn't change anything for the players. And when he came off that field after the last game, I don't think I've ever seen my son that emotional. So that kind of sold me. I'm in the Warrior crew now. But I have an extensive background in military. I was infantry my whole time. I've been in every combat since I joined the Army. When we took out, for those of you who have hearing aids or reading glasses like me, you'll remember. The other ones you won't. When we took out Noriega, I was in the 82nd Airborne. Then it was Desert Shield, Desert Storm. Then I joined the National Guard, and it was off to Bosnia. And then when I got back from that, I thought I was done. I ended up being promoted to the first sergeant of the company, and I was still infantry. And we went mechanized infantry, and they sent me off to Ramadi, Iraq in 2005 and 2006, where I had some of my soldiers, my awesome hero soldiers, were alumni from here, I believe, like Mike Bennett and George Logue, and just so many of them, and just great kids. Anyway, I retired from the state police last year, and really had no intention of coming back to work. I really liked the freedom, but as with most of us, I just felt like I wanted to do something. And then when I heard of this opportunity coming up, I feel like I'm a good fit. I can't really be the judge of that. Only you can be the judge of that after I'm here for a while. But the reason I think I'm a good fit is I understand the middle ground, is that I have all that at training. At one time I was hardcore Johnny Tactical. And then I have also the personnel training. I have supervision training. I have an extensive amount of supervision training from the military. I'm comfortable with the public speaking end of it. And I think my specialty is when we actually have a serious incident, which is what you're hiring me for, I can act under that because I've been there the first time. It is unbelievably scary. Every time after that, it's unbelievably scary, but you learn to control it and be able to act. And I will say that the people that you've hired so far, what I like about it so far is they're personable. So they're going to have a personality like Mr. Farrar and Mr. Myers, who everybody likes. Mark Storms. I can't believe that he's not standing here instead of me, because I grew up with him, and that is an excellent human being. That type of personality but have the background when need be to be able to switch the switch and go after the bad guy. You will, I don't think with the people that you hired that you will ever have a regret. I don't think you'll have any mistakes from our guys of a major incident. Yes, maybe something minor, but I don't think it'll ever be anything that will make you regret your decision. So I will quit talking on that. And I did have one more thing to add, is that as I came in, I don't know a lot of you, and I was thinking, who's the ones with the power? Who's the people in the know? And I figured it out through it all. It didn't take much. She's sitting right there.
Yep.
Does anybody have any questions for me?
Yeah, how are we gonna get around to it?
Is there a relation? No?
We're all family. We're all family.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, board, we'll turn our attention then to P2 through P12 and review them. If there's a separation, maybe you need to make for some reason.
If you would do P2 and P3 separate, I just like the concept of acting on those individually, because it gives us the opportunity to say thank you as opposed to.
Okay. Very good. So we'll separate P2 and P3. So now we're looking at P4 through P12. So let's move with P2, approval of retirement. Mr. Kamini, after 20 years of tech ed service, we have a motion to approve.
Move
To
to
approve.
second.
Any comments, thoughts?
I just like to say, I think he just has done a wonderful job over there. It makes that middle school program, very unique. And I agree with the comments. It's going to be a very hard person to replace.
Hearing nothing else, then all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Have it. P3 with the retirement of the members of our support staff, Bonnie Kegel from the cafeteria after 35 years of service. Wow. We have a motion. Move to approve. We have a second.
Second.
Thoughts, comment?
She'll be missed.
I'm gonna miss serving Thanksgiving dinner with her annually, so I'm gonna have a new partner, I guess, next year. I will miss Bonnie.
I just want to say 35 years at the same job is quite an accomplishment.
Especially the cafeteria.
Yeah, especially cafeteria.
Losing her and Mrs. Blackwell and Dan,
Yeah.
they were a team. They wanted to go out together.
That's awesome. All right. Well, all in favor, say aye then.
Aye.
Opposed? Have it. All right, looking at P4 through P12. Any concerns about need for separation? If not.
Move to approve.
Second. Okay. Any technical question of any kind? That I say technical in terms of, we know we can't say discuss personnel type issues, but there's technicalities of something we can. All right.
I would like to comment. It appears that Mr. Deacon has some time on his hands.
Saw that, did you?
Yeah. Gonna go in the classroom and doesn't need him there, why? Be part of the custodial group. I mean, that is a well-rounded.
All right. Okay, hearing nothing else, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Have it, and then on to transportation, we can group T1 and T2. See the promised land busing payments, and then the addition to the school bus driver list and aid list. We have a motion. Move to approve.
Second.
And no questions, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Let's have it. And that is our agenda items for the evening. We'll move on now to other reports. Dr. Mathers, if you walk us through them.
Okay, PSBA, I do not have anything to report tonight. Dr. LaCrone, do you have anything on policy?
Nothing tonight.
IU, Dr. Berry is absent. Mr. Schimmel? I think he's good.
Just, I should have sent the newsletter on to y'all, but just a little bit of not say construction, but some maintenance work, a concrete pad, because they're dragging a lot of mud into one of the shops, and so they put a concrete pad out. Security fence, just because you need to be more secure. And, one other item that was a maintenance type, new air compressor. They finally got tired of calling the repairman every other week and said it's time for new air compressor. So other than that, nothing else, I guess.
Okay. Mr. Omer, do you want to do Memorial Garden budget and the foundation together?
Sure, Memorial Garden, I hope you all had a chance to get out and look at the walkway. It in essence is completed. I think there's just some sand dust that'll need to be eventually put in. Is that right, Joe?
We're stoning around the trees right now.
Beautiful. And you've just done a terrific job. And again, I'm using my imagination a little bit, but I'm picturing green grass in between all of that. I'm trying to get a July picture. I don't have anything from the budget and from the foundation. Don't have a final report yet on how the fundraising went.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Albert's not here for building and grounds. Mr. Badger, extra principal.
Yeah, for extracurricular, I was contacted by Sioka dealerships. Every year they collect backpacks or jackets or whatever, and they donate within the county or whatever. So for the state of Pennsylvania, they purchased 100,000 winter jackets for children in kindergarten age and up. So they contacted the YMCA. So the YMCA is going to team up with Eastern Lycoming YMCA, Williamsport, and the Young Women's Christians Association, the YWCA. They're donating 500 jackets to those three organizations. So we're going to put some stuff together with the Harvest of Hope folks and the backpacks to go out. So those kids that do not have winter jackets, looking at the 21st of December, I think is the day we're going to do it. I don't know times yet, but I'll let everybody know. And they'll be able to just go to the Young Women's Christian Association. There's a basketball court there and grab a jacket. I'll report back all the numbers once we finished it up in the meeting in January.
That's awesome. Thank you. Mr. Schindler?
Okay, just time to plug my laptop in before it. All right, at this time, then we'll. Oh, by the way, committee assignments that I'll get with you over the next few weeks. I have one request for to join a couple of committees, and I'll get with you to see your status on continuing on or whatever you might want to do. So I will catch up with you on that. I want to stay with the CPC though myself, so I've got that one for me. All right, we move now to the final public comment section of the meeting, and once again, any of those present in the meeting room, feel free to step forward and get 3 minutes to tell us your thoughts on anything the board's been doing. How's that? Not seeing anybody come forward, then we'll move now to Cyber World and the attendees to the Zoom session. If you would be willing to raise your hand. And we do have one hand up, so Corey Flick, we're going to make this work, I promise. And
Can you hear me?
yes, you're good. Go ahead.
So the online setup's been working great all night, so thank you for that. Happy holidays to everyone. I just want to comment on the route that the district's going down with the hiring of the security personnel. So mental health staff ratios per professional standards recommend the guidance counselor ratio to be 250 to 1. Based on the current enrollment numbers at Montoursville, our ratio is 323 to 1, so not bad. Social workers, they recommend the ratio being 250 to 1. We don't have any social workers. School psychologists, they recommend the ratio being 700 to 1. We have one, so our ratio is 1938 to 1. School nurses, again, they recommend the ratio to be 750 to 1. Our ratio is 969 to 1. So just at the October 25th meeting, the student representative indicated that he feels strongly that student mental health concerns outweigh the need to hire armed security. I would concur with his assessment there. Safe schools data from the Department of Education for Montoursville specifically from 2007 to 2018 The student enrollment was 1,998, 203 incidents involving 124 offenders. By offenders, I mean people that might have violated the code of conduct, not people that were involved with the criminal justice system. There were 9 incidents involving law enforcement officers, 86 out of school suspensions, and a truancy rate of 5%. 2001 to 2022, student enrollment 1,811, 198 incidents with 105 offenders, 13 incidents involving law enforcement, 83 out of school suspensions. My point is that despite enrollment dropping by almost 200 between 2017 and the spring of 2022, incidents involving law enforcement have increased. Incidents in general at school are relatively the same. Out of school suspensions are virtually identical. That's rather alarming. Dr. Aaron Kupchak from the University of Delaware says simply, quote, "It is important that administrative decisions about school policing be based on evidence, not assumptions of effectiveness," end quote. In that regard, I'd like to personally thank Dr. Beery and Dr. Mathers for following the data. The data doesn't lie. Assumptions made by the board are frankly exasperating because, like I said, the numbers don't lie. School shootings are incredibly rare. Homicides amongst people under the age of 18 occurring at school are anywhere from 1% to 2% annually. From 2017 through the spring of 2022, there were a total of 2 weapons found on students at school. Two weapons in nearly 5 years. Overall, there's no evidence that school security reduces student crime, school shootings, etc. The presence of school security personnel often makes the environment feel less inclusive and increases collective anxiety among students, exacerbating mental health concerns. The presence of school security personnel also increases contact with law enforcement for students in general. This is going to lead, statistically leads to a higher dropout rate amongst students. It leads to less students going to college and less students graduating. My point is that the route we're currently going down does not benefit the students collectively. The data proves that, and the assumptions made by the board surrounding the route we're going down are simply wrong. And it's disheartening to know that my taxes are going to go up to a route that is not proven effective, plain and simple. So thank you.
Okay, and anybody else out there in the public who wishes to comment? Okay, seeing no other hands being raised now, we'll close the public comment section of the meeting, and I don't think there's anything for the good of the order that I have, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh, no.
Did we decide yet on moving the board meeting in January to?
Yeah, I think we're going out to
Is that
the work
final?
session. Yeah, the work session. Yeah.
The work session, but that's final for January.
Yeah.
We decided that last.
Yeah, we didn't vote, but I think, the sentiment was.
Well,
yeah,
I know
do it.
that, but
Yeah. So, yeah, I think we'll advertise accordingly that meeting work session in January will be at again, fire hall or the
Fire hall.
Fire hall.
Fire hall.
Okay. All right. Now, we won't be able to take this with us, I don't think. So we'll be stuck. It's. All right. If there's nothing else, I'll entertain that motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We are adjourned.